Hey guys, it's Mike at youarethepath.com. So today I wanted to talk about the power of camaraderie. I'd lost faith in the common man. I was at a pub here in the UK, and this pub was a little intimidating when I walked in there with my mum. And you know, there were a few people around the bar. One or two of them had a few teeth missing. One may have had a black eye. They didn't look like they were in the best of health, let's put it that way. And it reminded me of the Hood. We call it a council estate here in England. It reminded me of the Hood and that kind of an edgy, an edginess to it. A kind of an edgy type of vibe that something could spark at any moment should somebody look at someone in the wrong way. And I thought, when in Rome, sort of thing, I sat down and I thought, hang on a minute, let's look at this from a different angle. I'm going to choose to have faith in these people, and I'm going to believe that these are good people. I'm going to believe and have faith that if I was to suddenly collapse and have a panic attack or stop breathing, people around would be concerned and want to help and get onto the phone to the ambulance and to give me room, let him breathe, what's going on. There are often unlikely heroes. We're so quick to judge people when we don't know the first thing about them. It just reminds me of the story of, I was told this story of this black guy with dreadlocks, and he's running after this woman, this white lady, and she notices this black guy with dreads running after her, and she starts running. And anyway, he's trying to hand her the purse that she'd dropped. But in her reality, at that time, he was out to get her and to do God knows what with her. And that was her reality in that moment in time. I'm not suggesting that you gloss over everything. Of course, you need to have tact when going into certain areas. I'm not suggesting that you just skip through areas and go, life is so I'm not suggesting that for 1 second, but I'm sharing this with you because I noticed that attitude within myself, and it is an attitude that we carry around. I noticed myself behaving a little differently. I went to catch the train yesterday, and the weather here is very hard to predict, and I was wearing a sweatshirt and a vest and a jacket, and I noticed two ladies were sat waiting for this train, and I kind of leaned up beside them, and I noticed them talking, these two older ladies and a younger lady, and they were talking about how the weather's unpredictable, and it started off cold this morning and now it's really warm. And as though I knew them, I turned and I said, I made the mistake today of wearing a sweatshirt and a vest. And one of the old ladies said, well, the forecast said it may rain later on. And I had a big smile on my face and I was saying, yeah, I hope it does now, because I had my jacket on and that. And you know, for that moment, we weren't strangers. And there was that camaraderie that I'm talking about. And this really came through in a lot of the reports coming from Japan, in how the Japanese people behaved and responded to that crisis with helping each other out, feeding the pets that had survived and their owners had perished, and they were helping each other out and leaving food on each other's doorsteps and stuff. And I still have faith in the common man. Even in certain institutions that have a bad name for good reason, I'm not glossing over things here, like the police. There is police brutality, and that is not acceptable. But I do believe that a minority give the majority a bad name, and it was the same case in the hood where I grew up. The majority of those people were good people, you know, that just wanted to earn a decent living and have a bit of peace of mind and get on with life. And a minority of people, drug dealers and people up to no good, gave the whole area a bad name. Now, I have a friend I used to work with, and she works for the emergency services. If you dial 999, she'll pick up the call and see what the emergency is and send help to you. And she told me of an elderly lady had called in because she couldn't go to sleep because she couldn't tell if the gas fire was turned off or not, and she was afraid to go to sleep. And she sent the emergency services, she sent the police, and there was a knock on the door, and she said, there's a knock on the door, should I answer it? And she said, yeah, you know, go and answer the door. And anyway, so the police came in, checked the fire, and she was able to go to sleep. Now, what part in the world can you pick up the phone and somebody comes to save your ass? There aren't many places in the world where you can have such a service. I don't believe, and everyone has a different perspective on this, but I don't believe that the system has to be completely destroyed. I think that new systems need to be brought in to replace the old systems that no longer work, the old systems of power and control. Some members of the police have forgotten that they are servants to the people and not masters. Yes, I believe a minority of them are on a power trip, and I'm not condoning that kind of behaviour. I'm showing you that there are things about living in the part of the world where we live that we should maybe be a little grateful for. Now, the powers that be believe that power is the highest form of consciousness that they can attain. The level above power is the level of unconditional love, which they feel they can't attain that level, and they ultimately have no power, because when you have true power, you don't need to exert control over people. When you have true power, things happen effortlessly, and there is a synchronicity to life. The only power they have is the power we give up. So we essentially give up our power. to these people, and they're in fear that we're going to turn on them because we see the game that they're playing. But if you fall into the drama, and I'm not making a moral judgment on anyone here, I mean, I've noticed myself do this in my younger years, where I would get really angry and wound up about secret societies and Illuminati and all the mayhem I see them causing and manipulating us, and wanting to go out and fight fire with fire, which now, in my opinion, I see that as playing their game. I have unconditional love for them, and some of you may find that hard. How can you have unconditional love to a minority of people who are doing sick, sadistic things, but from my perspective they know better? Some of you, there are those people out there who aren't going to get you, and they're going to think you're an idiot. And if someone thinks I'm an idiot and doesn't like me, I'd say, you know what, you're absolutely right. From your level of consciousness, I wouldn't like me either. So just let them go. Whatever perspective they have on you, however they've judged you, just let them be right, because from their level of consciousness they are right. Everyone feels justified in their beliefs and in their attitudes. We all like to know, we all like to feel that we've got the juice, that we've got the goods, that we've got the correct knowledge, and we can sometimes have this attitude on others, a kind of a na 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 na, I know the reality, I know what's real, and you're just a slave, you're just a sheep. And when really, a lot of people, they're just after a little bit of peace of mind. And it's not really for us to make them the problem. And everyone's right or wrong, to take the blue pill. If they want to take the blue pill and remain asleep to that's their prerogative, and it's their free will to do so. If you've chosen to take the red pill, then great. Just allow other people the grace to walk the path that they've decided to walk. That path. Stop getting wound up that other people don't know the reality. You get so wound up that other people are asleep and it's all their fault. If people woke up and if people started to do what you can do, take the action that you can take, lead by example, create something for other people to take the cue from what you're doing. Drop the wound up feeling about what the Illuminati are doing and what they're doing, and look what they're doing, and they're so wrong. Yes, it may be wrong, but you don't want to have that emotional attachment to how it's so wrong, because you're giving energy away that could be put elsewhere in the things that bring you joy. Maybe it brings you joy to help out where you can help out, to give affection and compassion and acknowledgement to people in the world where they thought nobody cared. If that's what brings you joy and excitement, do that and lead by example, and allow other people to learn from their mistakes. There are more things I wanted to say. I try not to make long videos because I think, like, you know, who would want to listen to this for so long? So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Peace. Catch us later. Thanks for all your support. All of you that have supported me through my time on YouTube. I'm going to be putting the event that I'm doing this week up for you guys because I want to give something back for you guys for supporting me on my channel. The event will later be sold as a downloadable, as something that you can download, but for now, for you guys, I'm going to be putting it up free. This event is something that I've invested in myself, time and money, but I don't do it for the accolades and the money. I do it because I just don't see myself doing anything else. This is what I want to be doing, sharing myself and bringing joy, healing, love, empathy to places where people thought there was no hope. And I thank you for giving me an opportunity to share this with you, because without you, this journey wouldn't be the journey that it's been. Camaraderie was the message I wanted to put across. Today we're at different points in the earth, but the reality is we are all here, and what else is there to do but to make the most of it and to make the best of it, to understand ourselves on deeper levels, and to help out, to help one another. Peace. Catch us later, guys.